I remember waking up to Brandon's car touching a guardrail. It was quite a shock.
Brandon drove each of his friends home. Jay Peart, who lived less than 5 miles from Brandon, was last.
Thanks for the ride, man.
I asked him if he was going to be all right, and he said, yep. And I said goodnight, and he left, never questioning his ability to make it home that night.
Members of the Santa Clara County Central Fire District were the first to arrive at the scene, including firefighter EMT Joe Viramontes.
Hey, buddy, you all right?
The vehicle had hit the tree with such impact that he drove the steering wheel up into the dash area. It appeared as though we may have a fatality on our hands.
What happened here?
As soon as we saw him, we knew that this was a very severe head trauma. In many ways, one couldn't tell if he was even barely alive, except that we could get his pulse and blood pressure.
Mr. and Mrs. Silveria, my name's Dr. Hinsdale. The injuries are serious.
The CAT scan showed very serious injuries all throughout his brain.
Intensive care.
We weren't optimistic that he'd lead a normal life after looking at the seriousness of the brain injuries that we saw.
He's not going to recognize you right ahead.
We went to the hospital every day in hopes that Brandon would just wake up out of the coma and be himself again. And that didn't happen.
I was in a coma for 2.5 months. I was not moving or responding to anything. My weight dropped from 168 pounds to 109. It was so bad I had to sleep on an air mattress because I had no muscle left to cushion my bones. I'm told that I'm lucky to be alive today. I did have my seatbelt on, and I'm sure that's part of the reason why I'm still here. After regaining consciousness, I was moved to a rehabilitation center. I couldn't do anything by myself. I couldn't walk, I couldn't talk, I couldn't think, and I couldn't eat because I didn't remember how to swallow.
This is an initial admission video on Brandon Silveria. Brandon is a 17-year-old male who was involved in a motor vehicle accident. He sustained a right parietal skull fracture, left frontal
When I
hemorrhage.
walked into the rehab and I saw Brandon, he was sitting in a wheelchair, but he was strapped in because he could not sit up. I had to look twice. I thought it was another person.
Touch the brush. Put your hand on the brush.
Reach it.
Reach way out.
That's it.
Keep going.
Excellent.
You're almost there.
Good. All right.
You did it. That was super. Touch the cup.
Reach for the cup, Brandon.
He had to relearn every single thing he knew how to do. He just didn't have to learn how to walk. He had to learn how to swallow again so that he could eat food. He had to learn how to think again because his memory was impaired.
That's it.
That's it. Reach out a little more. Point to it with your index finger. There you go.
Here, let me hold you by
Yeah,
the elbow.
everything closer.
Brandon has a lot of courage. Most people, when they're finishing their teenage years, are looking forward to going to college or, getting out on their own. And suddenly that was all taken away from him. And yet he is out there in the world. Given his deficits, he's out there participating. He's not hiding. He's involved.
While I was relearning how to walk and talk, all my friends finished their junior year, had summer vacation, and came back as seniors. I missed all that, and while they were applying to college and going to grad night, I was learning to do things as simple as how to catch a bus, do my own laundry, and use a telephone. 2 years after my accident, my friends had gone to college, and I was just coming home from rehab to live with my parents.
Being a good athlete, being somebody that could do things very easy early in your life, and then trying to go back and learn a lot of those things again has become very, very difficult for him.
Come on. Couple more minutes.
I mean, a real struggle.
You can do it.
We know that constant routine is the only way that he can learn.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right. Good job. That's a great job. Good work. Good work.
Anyway, right after his rehabilitation, when he came home, one of the first things he did was to get up on the roof and jump into the swimming pool. Thank God most of his body made it into the pool, but his arm didn't, and he almost broke his arm. You know, I mean, I did it before, why can't I do it now? To him, I'm the same person, but you can't, you know. We got to start all over again and learn all that process.
A quick review of the stuff that we featured on today's show. We've got some cool stuff for your car.
He can be taken advantage of very easily, and I think that's happened historically.
Brandon is so trusting. When he hears an ad on the television that this is a last chance sale, and if you don't call this number right now, he'll order something that we've had to return.
Brandon is carrying a lot of baggage with him that he doesn't even realize, that creates all sorts of different problems. And wherever he goes, that environment needs to be sort of conducive to who he is and what he's going to present.
Where are you going? Where is your destination?
The health club in Los Gatos.
When he makes a left turn, you want to get off at that stop there and then walk. No, you.
And if it's a hostile environment that doesn't have the time to recognize who he really is, it could be very, very difficult. And I really cringe when I think about that.
Walk straight over and you're at the health club.
Good, thanks.
Thank you. It's right there next to the high school. Do you have any idea how difficult it is to sound like you're mentally retarded, but you're not? People look at you like you're weird. For me, this has been one of the most difficult things, especially around people I don't know. It hurts so much to once have been normal, but now have people treat me like I'm strange. Dealing with other people's reactions is not my only battle. Physically, my struggles aren't over. A few months ago, I had a seizure and blacked out. It caused me to lose my memory and I had to start learning all over again.
Stand on your left foot.
All the wounds opened up again, and the hurt and the pain and the anxiety of thinking, have we come this far, and where are we going to end up now?
How many fingers you see?
One.
How many?
One.
How many?
One.
And who is the President of the United States?
George Clinton. No.
You want to try again?
No. Bill.
Bill Clinton.
Excuse me?
What is his wife's name?
Nancy? No.
Well, Hillary. Hillary Rodham Clinton. Do you miss not having good memory?
Yeah, very much so I do. Nowadays, I try to stay active, but I don't really have any freedom. I'd like to move out of the house, but my parents say I'm not ready. I think I am, but it's hard to know.